Welcome back to Sledhead 24/7. It's time for us to go on tour with Polaris. The Rush Tour, that is.
The woods of northern Minnesota. It's much more than a great place to ride. On this day, Paul Bunyan Land also serves as a high-tech research center.
It means when you crack the throttle, you get some ski lift. But you want it to come back down so you can control it in the turns.
Welcome to the Polaris Rush Tour 2011. We caught up with the tour at Breezy Point Resort. It's the staging area where some lucky riders get a chance for some seat time on the latest models of the Polaris Rush snowmobile.
This is a Polaris Switchback Retro. Retro meaning the graphics. This is a throwback to the 70s when the snowmobiles had the awesome look that we thought, no, that was a fad, they went away, now it's back.
But there's no free lunch or free ride. Polaris stages the Rush Tour as one of their methods for gathering important research and data on how the sled performs and exactly what riders want in their sleds.
After each ride, we have a download, and what that is, we get the comments from all these people, and what it does, we report back to our headquarters, management, and they take probably the top 10 items and focus on that for improving the model for next year.
It is time for a little adrenaline rush.
Time to saddle up and hit the trails for a no-holds-barred real-world testing. And even with less than optimum snow conditions, the riding, research, and reviewing was on.
There's a reason they call them a rush.
One unique feature of the Rush, the ability to dial in a custom ride via the suspension system. And at a stop on appropriately named Rush Lake, the riders got a chance to fine-tune the feel of their suspension. Just a few clicks is all it takes.
The Rush can work for any rider because of its adjustability. You can dial in the balance with the rear spring, and then you can set the clickers on the shocks to be a nice soft ride or a firm, aggressive ride.
Back in the trail, the riding and evaluation continued, and this group pushed the Rush hard. Paul Mack was not one to lighten up.
But we're still hitting the big bumps, and that's where these shine. You get into the big bumps, over the stutter bumps, I hit a big road approach, came in, crashed through it. Nothing goes through those like a Polaris Rush.
After the morning ride, the group gathered. They were debriefed and data on the Rush was collected. But for the riders, the first impressions were easy to articulate.
Just like a train on the tracks until I gave her the gas. Right out of the corner and then I was gone. Anytime you wanted it, it was there. You just had to tap her and she just lifted the skis and you'd go. She was amazing, definitely amazing.
Once you stop and make that adjustment, you just turn the clicker and good to go. Once you get it set right, it flattens the corners, handles perfect.
The Rush was already a game changer, and the sled will continue to evolve. The hands-on, real-world testing conducted on the Rush Tour will lead to the next generation. Still ahead, it's been quite a year for our project sled, known as SledX. Speedworks transformed an Arctic Cat from mild to wild. Find out how SledX fared in its debut race at the ERX Motorsport Track in Minnesota. Time now for an update from the AMSOIL Championship Snocross Series. The battle for the Pro Open class tightened up in upstate New York. Amid a snowstorm, big crowds, and big air, Tucker Hibbert and Ross Martin continue to battle for the 1-2 spots. In Farmington, New York, Tucker took the checkered flag, followed by Ross Martin and Robbie Melanowski. Upcoming races on the AMSOIL Championship Snocross Series include Elko Speedway near Minneapolis, March 12th and 13th, and the grand finale at Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, March 18th, 19th, and 20th. For tickets and details, log on to isocracing.com.